Doc, my waistline is under siege, says Fat Steven Seagal. Thank you, Steven.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show, everybody. I have with me here the great Fat Steven Seagal with me. Welcome to Bird After Dark. There we go. Make sure everything is down there. How you doing today?
Can they hear me?
I can hear you. Anybody hear you out there?
I don't know. Can they hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you for having me. How you doing, Baron?
Not bad. I'm very honored to have you on here. I know you're a busy man, so.
Oh yeah, I'm so busy. Yeah, yeah. Look at me go! How busy I am. I am fantastically busy. If I was any more busy, I'd be in a morgue.
Of course, last time we were together was for the Kings on Sunday, so it's great to have you here. I just want to say hi to John Rendell out there. Welcome to the chat, my super wrench, the old man. Fata Wanna Be. I can never say his name.
I don't want to be.
Thank you. DJ Ronnie is in the house as well, and Arwen, lovely Arwen. Hi, welcome to the show. So I was bringing him on board because I know Fat Steven's an expert gamer out there. Compared to me. Compared to me. You're an expert gamer.
People trying to sleep. I'm just a gamer at heart.
Yeah. And, I've watched some of your gaming streams. I love the one where you're doing the haunted house one with all those people. Every time you said something about you like the new Star Wars, you get killed.
Oh, Phasmophobia! I gotta start doing that again. But I'm gonna be probably doing that gaming stuff. If you guys haven't shared out the stream, do it for Baron because I don't know. I'm too lazy. But no, the Phasmophobia I want to start doing again. But I've been just pretty much putting my gaming to Twitch, and honestly, it's weird to say that Twitch seems to have a lot more freedoms than YouTube does right now, and I'm wondering how long YouTube will last for content creators to actually express themselves.
Yeah, that's a good question, especially the way they've been going on that. Messing around with people's algorithms, messing around with people's subscriptions, and even getting the notifications out. It's just
you get 3 a day usually, so you have to plan it out right. You have to plan it out safely, right? But it's a mission. But yeah, I've been coming. I think in about 7 days, I've been on YouTube with this channel for about 2 years, and yeah, gaming mostly. Babylon 5 I used to do, but I've had to put that on hold with the Babylon 5. It's been a journey. But expert gamer? No, I'm just a guy who yells at 12-year-olds in Fortnite. That's pretty much it.
So with Babylon 5, of course, it's I find that fascinating because you obviously like that show quite a bit. One of my favorite shows as well.
Yeah.
And it was one of those where I saw the first movie when it came out, and it was like, it's like missed some points, but it was enough to intrigue me that when a year later they had the Midnight on the Firing Line came out. The moment I saw that episode, it's like I was lost. And I know a lot of people give the first season of Babylon 5 crap, but I thought that was great universe building in an introduction to the world of Babylon 5.
I think it was more the debate whether they thought they ripped off DS9 or not. But yeah, Babylon 5 was great for its time, except for the first season. Honestly, as much as everyone loves Sinclair, until it got to like Babylon Squared, Sinclair, I was bored. I wanted ships. I want to see the battles. I wanted to see the Shadow lore, and with Sheridan just started picking up for me. And that was definitely.
Oh yeah, Sheridan when Bruce Boxleitner came in, he had that different take that like more the what we call the cowboy, I suppose, from the Zen to the cowboy, uh, and the action started picking up a little bit more. What do you think about JMS wanting to redo the series?
As long as he has full creative control, we actually debated that live because the day that announcement came out, we were actually doing our Babylon show on the Monday, right? So
Hmm.
it turned from talking about episodes to people expressing their joy and their concerns because we're terrified of reboots and remakes. We are terrified of reimaginings. We're tired of anything that begins with re because re seems to be the code word for a lot of SJWs, Karens, everything. So it's like it's no longer like a remake; it's remake because it's just
Hmm.
the re is covering up for all the agenda or today's politics or today's issues, and we were like, please don't f it up. But the
Hmm.
positivity of the same side, even Keith was kind of debating, was how JMS explained everything, either through his Patreon or his Twitter,
Hmm.
that there's better technology out there. He's able to tell the story he wants to tell. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, as much as we want to be terrified, it comes down to we have to wait and see. But it's on the hold now, isn't it? The remake.
Yeah, at least for a year. Because I suppose with all the what's the sales with the CW and all that stuff going on over there, he said that the show's not it's not put on it's just put on the back shelf for a year. It's not been said no cancellation, no we're not going to do it. So and I suppose in some ways he was kind of disappointed the first time around with all the cast changes. He had the Michael Hare had to leave and
Well, that's the thing with JMS. He was very understanding and very respectful to the cast, especially with medical issues. So they
mhm,
worked around and rewritten scripts depending on what was going on with, like, especially Sinclair's actor. They just went around. I don't know all the angry stuff that happened later on in the later seasons, but
mhm,
JMS seemed to be very understanding and very workable when it came to the characters, especially with their physical or mental health in the real world. So I'll give him
mhm.
props for that. I'm not a
Yeah.
Babylon 5 aficionado though. I just like sci-fi, like Star Trek.
Mhm,
Like you and I, me, and Bidge, even 24. We pop culture mindfield. Gary, we've talked about how we love Star Trek, not
mhm,
because it was just spaceships, pew pew. It's because it had the layer system of making you think without making forcing it on you. And sometimes you needed
mhm,
to watch it 2 or 3 times to actually see what types of messages were being delivered and then how you apply them to yourself in everyday life. And because of Star Trek, things like tablets, cell phones, and everything else, everything like the simple show has inspired technology. It's inspired people wanting to make the world better. And
mhm.
now we're in a generation where people don't want to make the world better. They just want to make people feel like they're the reasons why the world sucks. And that's not a
Mhm.
platform anyone should be promoting. And fuck you, Kurt.
No.
Sorry for
Yeah.
swearing. Sorry.
No, no. I mean, I wholeheartedly concur on you. It's like going from hope to dystopia to whining, crying, bitching, moaning. It went from people who wrote the show that understood that the audience, no matter what their background was intelligent. Obviously, it had to be there watching the show, and that being turned away, and
Yeah.
coming away with that. And obviously, JMS with Babylon 5 was a lot different because he did have a whole plan for the series from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
writ they sorry, I think they writ the
oh,
stories because they knew their audiences were intelligent.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually just grifting what Arwen wrote in the chat before I acknowledged that she wrote it in the chat. So I just wanted to
Mm.
readapt it.
Oh, okay.
So I just pulled like a CW right now.
All right, when you got grifted.
So did you force your dad to watch B5? Did he like it?
Yeah, I think he liked it.
Um,
Yeah.
does he like He likes Londo and Jakar and Garibaldi, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely Garibaldi. I mean,
Yeah, the
definitely
dollar
Garibaldi.
yeah the Dollar Tree Bruce Willis. Yes, that's what we call him.
Did you know that they actually were going to replace Bruce Willis with him on Moonlighting when Bruce Willis was getting a little too full of himself?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were in talks that if Bruce Willis would walk off and not be part of the show no more, that Jerry Doyle would take over that part. And of course, obviously, it didn't come apart. He did have a, 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 a guest star appearance on the show, but he never did obviously come to fruition. And JMS is back. This is, of course, back in the '80s when he actually got the first idea of Babylon 5. The part of Garibaldi he had in mind was Bruce Willis. So if you couldn't get Bruce Willis, Jerry Doyle.
Makes sense. I didn't know that.
Hmm. Somebody actually challenged me on that. I sat back and brought that out there, and they jumped all over. It's like, listen, I don't know where you're from, but I remember everything leading up to this, and I remember reading articles from the '80s scene about the ideas of the show and the beginnings and the concept arts that they had, which was really wild. And it's like, no, 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 no. This is how it was. Don't BS. No, don't go out there and say that. You can't. You don't have anything to back yourself up with. And yeah, I mean, I really loved it. Again, the story. No, Star Trek, the story. Babylon 5, the story. Even Star Wars. They were talking about the original Star Wars and even the prequels. It was still written for an intelligent audience.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we were lucky enough during our coverage of the Babylon 5 series that we had Patricia Tallman on twice, and she played
mhm,
Lita.
yeah.
She was also a stunt double, I believe, for Nina from DS9, which was Major Kira, as well as Beverly Crusher for TNG. So she was
Hmm.
actually a stunt woman at the same time. And I think it was during the whole Neil Young Spotify stuff, no, the Elvira stuff, right? And I
Hmm.
retweeted Elvira, and I pretty much said I would rather. Looks like one more thing on Spotify I won't have to watch. For some reason, that triggered her to not only unfollow me, but I don't think she's ever come back on the show. And I was like, shoot.
Mm,
Twitter and
that's sad to hear.
opinions seem to like just yeah. I'll reach out eventually, but it's like that's why I don't like about Twitter is accessible, but everyone takes the opinions as some like type of like this side or that side. Bro, there's more
Hmm.
than one side. It's like an octagon.
Right. We figured off of Babylon 5, what they were sitting back saying that, truth is a three-edged sword. It's like, come on, that was one of the
Yeah.
basis that JMS was bringing forward. It's like, come on, you were sleeping with the guy for a while. You should, gotten something out of it.
Who?
Patricia Tallman.
She was sleeping with JMS?
Yeah, yeah. It was after he was divorced. After the series was done, they actually dated for a while.
I didn't
I
know
think that
that.
was about the time that they started getting when she was talking about getting the stuff going with his Babylon 5 company they had with the scripts and all that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they dated for a little bit. Lucky bastard. I mean, if she goes for pudgy guys like that, I mean, I think I have at least a chance.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll have the cheerleader outfit ready when that happens.
But it was nice that you had her on there. It was an interesting conversations that you had with her on that
Yeah,
show.
I
So,
appreciated it.
mhm.
But yeah. Uh,
was that
it's,
was that the biggest guest you ever had on your show on your channel?
um, I think Robert Meyer Burnett dropping in once in a while was pretty cool,
Okay.
but like,
Hmm.
there's still people. We had the Bucketheads on. Those are the guys that are doing the Star Wars stuff. They're pretty
Hmm.
good. We've had Chuck Dixon on.
Okay.
That's the co-creator of Bane with Graham Nolan.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think biggest guest. I wouldn't say that. Honestly, the biggest guest I would love to have on once or twice. Seriously, I would love to have a chat with Neurotic, Detective Inspiration, and I'd love to have a chat with Az. Not
Oh
like
yeah.
not like FNT talk, just shoot the shit. And
Hmm.
I know they're super busy, but those are two people that I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I wouldn't have found
Hmm.
this cool stuff, right? And as I think I've watched his videos far back as not before the Warcraft when he was opening loot crate boxes and complaining about the hole in his attic window. So it was pretty good.
So they were kind of your inspiration to get into this.
They were
Well,
my inspiration, yeah, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been here. No one would have met me, and the Steven Seagal anything wouldn't have existed.
mhm.
And yeah, Tug is another good guy. He's popped up once in a while in my chat. Yellow Flash. It's been an interesting few months, I'd say, for this year at least.
Hmm.
I don't look at them as
Definitely.
celebrities. I look at them as people, but they still deserve a thanks because they do
Hmm.
inspire. It doesn't make them heroes. It just makes them people that have a sway to find yourself, and that's something I think people forget. It's not the size of the channel; it's the personality that can inspire and push you somewhere.
Hmm.
Loki's another one. Loki in general. Loki, I have his back to the end of time, and he is a brother without blood. That's the way I look at it. Same with, well, maybe not Backdoor Gary. Backdoor Gary's in his own little stuff, but I have loyalty to him too, and Keith. There's a bunch of people I do.
Gary, he's okay.
He's all right when he's not talking. He's fantastic.
He is.
Yeah. But no, sir, I ramble because I don't usually get to talk like this, where it's just open forum, and this is something I like doing. So you have a good formula here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And I'm actually very happy that Gary decided to incorporate me into his fold. So he seems to grab me for the Saturday morning. So
well, we needed a token fat guy.
Okay.
Sorry, they're all fat guys. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun dealing with these people, and that's just it. I don't look at a lot of these people as celebrities. It's just like they're just people doing their stuff, and
Yeah.
for me, it was obviously Doomcock helped inspire me a little bit to do some of this stuff along with some of the others.
I haven't been able to talk to Doomcock much, but I would love to at the same time. Tom from Midnight's Edge, he's a blast. He's been really nice in the last little while too, so I appreciate that. It's pretty much, as long as you can treat the other person on both sides with respect, and you're not trying to like jump them for another, you know what I mean? Like whether it's for clout or whether it's for growth, just they're still people, and I think there's a lot of stuff. Drunk, especially drunk is as interesting though, fellow. But then there's Ryan. Like I've pretty much met her at a chance to talk to everyone, and I don't regret anything because it gave me a social life after everything being locked down for 2 years.
Exactly. Even though you're not face to face, you're talking.
No one's going to come to Canada, bro. Come on, let's get it straight right now. They think we're a communist country right now. They're not going to come to Canada. I'm like, come on, someone come and bail me out, bro. And but that's the whole thing, though. If I ever do go to one of those meetups, like I have to wear a mask. Why are you wearing a mask? Because Fat Steven Seagal's built an image in everyone's head. And as soon as you take away that fantasy, it ruins it. And that's like, why don't you show your face? Because then that ruins it for you, not for me.
Yeah, because it's an image. It's just, it's that look, it's that feel. It's like, even though it is you underneath it all, it's still a little bit of a role. I mean, it's an image that you're putting out there, even though it's your heart and soul that's in it.
Yeah. And honestly, there's quite a few people on here. Like, honestly, if you ever have a chance to get on back to, or reach out to Daryl the Derelict or Darth and Elena, you'd probably have a kick with them too. Daryl's another one that's been there. I can't name everyone, but they've been a family when I've been going through rough crap, and 2021 was really rough crap.
It was. I know, especially for you.
Well, my dad was in the hospital at the beginning of the year. I didn't know if I was able to see him. Yeah, there was so much, and there was other things outside of that just kept piling on. And as much as people say, just monetize everything, keep pushing through. Emotional, mental state do take a hit over time. And it's hard to trust people online because you don't know who they're going to whisper to next when you just want to have a confidential conversation. So I appreciate the ones that I can confide in. Sorry, I ramble. I do. I ramble.
Oh, well, I like the rambling. It means less work for me to do. I'm lazy. You know that.
Thanks.
I'm lazy. Hey, it's a shot at me, not you, man.
I'm not lazy.
I know you're not. I am.
If anything, the Ottawa stuff, the coverage there, I can put up to 16-hour days, and still have time to have a good beer once in a while. But I'm gonna switch to tequila, I think, because I think 2022 is the year of tequila at this point.
2021 was the year of the beer. 2022 is tequila. I hate to know what 2023 is going to end up being.
Yeah.
Just go straight moonshine, Everclear, the hard stuff.
The long-suffering Mrs. Tage. I'm so sorry. The name is funny.
Well, that's because I kept calling her that all the time. So she said, if I'm gonna come on there, I'm gonna use that name. So she's become just as much of a character as anything else in the whole lot. And I kind of like that. She
Yeah.
puts up with me. She really puts up with me. I don't know why.
Do you guys have breakfast together?
Uh Not yeah, we do have breakfast together. Not only that,
So,
we've been driving into work together. So
so in other words, when you're looking at the road, she's looking over at you from the driver's side, and she's like, "Shit, you're going to be here tomorrow morning, aren't you?"
I've seen her looking over at the door and going, if I just reach over and do that little swing, the door will open up and you'll be out the door. Tuck and roll.
I guess that's love. I won't know about that.
I don't know. Well, but yeah, she puts up with me. I don't know how she does it, but she does do it, and I appreciate her for that. I'm not the easiest person to live with, honestly. Not in any sense of the imagination. What got you into gaming? What was the game that got you going?
I don't know. That's just it. I just had a system, and I just started gaming. Like it doesn't matter. Call of Duty. It's been Destiny. It's if the game grabs me and I can have fun with it, I will keep playing it. But I like the social aspect, having the ability to bring enough people on and just have a good time. Like before Fortnite went ape crap with their patches, we used to have like 16 people in the lobby, and I was managing 4-person teams and hours and just having a blast. And Phasmophobia was just getting myself killed by ghost hunting. And then I don't know how to explain it. I think like gaming's the only place left where the escapism and your imagination could still grow. Plus the problem solving, the hand-eye coordination,
Hmm.
and just turning the world off. I've turned the TV off. I don't watch news anymore. It's been almost 3 years, I think. 2 years, 3 years.
Hmm.
Gaming provides that escapism, but lately it's been kind of like trying to continue the gaming while you have outside influences just affecting it in ways that it shouldn't. It makes you not want to touch anything, and it's been across the board lately. I still keep going though.
See, that's the thing for me. I just don't have that hand-eye coordination. I try going in there. It's like, okay, I'm pressing all the buttons. I'm pressing all the buttons, type of thing.
So you're a monkey trying to peel a banana.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Exactly. And I have to confess, it's kind of frightening for me to get involved in some of these team stuff because I know I'm the weakest link. These people have been around, and I know that people
But
get
if you're the
upset.
weakest link until you start learning your game, you're always gonna have a weakest link.
Hmm.
You can't hold that
Yeah.
against yourself just because you're afraid to put someone down. It's worse
Hmm.
when the people you rely on start putting you down because they have a shit they can't get over. But honestly, to start with, like something like with Tetris, or start something like Mario Kart, there's something out there for everyone. That's why there's so many different games.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, I love the old retro games that they put on there, like Rampage. If you remember Rampage, where you can
Yeah, I
go
remember
through and smash.
Rampage.
Yeah, I love that game. Just something satisfactory about going in and smashing, Cleveland or some other town like that. And then
Yeah,
we get to the Twin Cities, like, oh, I'm wiping out my own hometown. I mean, I grew up with the old coin games, so everything was a quarter.
yeah.
Uh,
Coin
you know,
arcades and token arcades are missed, man. Those were some
yeah.
places you could just pop on a Walkman and just shoot, like grab the gun
Mhm.
and fight off like the Terminator 2, like Terminators in the like that, or the Area 51 games, pinball, Street
Mhm.
Fighter, Dance Dance Revolution, like all that stuff is gone now, and it's like
Yeah.
just killing our social aspect. And it's hard. And Palladium is fuck Palladium. Palladium is a joke. Too
Mhm.
much for the games, and it's just Dead Space is pretty one of my great games. I love that. Final Fantasies were some great games. And right now, for me, the reason why I play Fortnite so much is because everyone on any platform can almost play with you,
Mhm.
and you're not restricting people from feeling like they can't participate. And that's like what the open door policy was been on my channel. As long as you respect my mods, respect me, respect my chat, come on in, we can have a good time. That hasn't changed. It's supposed to be fun, not fake.
Mhm.
This community, like in general, like when my laptop was going to shit, this I just set up a GoFundMe, and a lot of people helped, especially like Mexican Iron Man and other people, to contribute to me getting a computer built. The same machine I use now. I also took $600 out of my pocket to build it, And that's why I put so much effort and work into streaming for hours, because that's my repay back. That I did show I used it. I used it for what I said I was going to, and I still do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in fact, this computer I have right here that I'm using for this is my gaming computer. It's a laptop. It's a gaming laptop, and I got it because I was on Star Trek Online. I was using a Mac. They
I do that
decided not
too.
to
I
do
have a rainbow build, if you know what that is.
the plasmas.
All the plasmas, but the ones from like the what do you call what's the store? Not the Zen store, the one with the Ferengi. What's one that one called?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the Lobby crystals or
the
lobby
lobby,
crystals.
yeah, the lobby
Yeah.
crystals. Yeah, I have some of the stuff from there. I use the mirror escort with the purple shuttles, so they use the tractor beams. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
and what's nice about that, I have not put one red cent into that game, but I like taking all my dilithium and converting to Zen, and that's how I got all my
the market's up
special.
now. The market's up now.
Yeah, it's been going up big
Well,
time.
that's why they've changed up the things, right? They'll do like, let's say, like a 3 month of like they'll be like it's like for 3 or 6 months, but you have a chance of getting it, earning a T6 ship or a coupon for a free
Hmm.
T6. You log in right now, they're giving a free complimentary T6 coupon.
Okay, and now I did one not too long ago. They had one, and I got the Galaxy Dreadnought. Always wanted one of those.
I have it saved because I don't know what T6 to get next. That's the thing though, because even though you get all these ships, it's the dry dock that's not you have to pay for in the end. So it's like, just give me dry dock. I don't want inventory space. I want the dry dock space. Just give me dry dock. It's great.
Yeah, I think my one is pretty damn full because I got myself the Federation. I got myself the Klingon, of course. I
Well,
got a
now
couple
Klingons
different
can
ones.
use the Federation ships, and Federation can use
Yeah,
Klingon ships. Yeah,
I saw that. I don't
yeah.
know what to think about that fully though, because it starts getting. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. I
Tedious.
mean, you could do it with the Romulans because the Romulans you could check. Pick if you want to go Klingon or Federation with that. And I do have the one Romulan, and I did pick with the Federation with that one. So
Yeah.
I haven't played that for a while. I need to get back to playing that. I've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of these Star Wars online
I
or
usually
Star Wars.
pop. Yeah, I usually pop in for the summer and Q's Winterlands because that's
Mhm.
about it. But yeah, there's other games out there. I'm waiting for Arc Raiders to drop. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm talking. I got Nine Inch Nails playing a little too loud in my back ears. So
Okay.
it's a space little, or no, it's whatever it is. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I like gaming. So you can't say you can't game.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I'm not good at it, but I mean, I do it. Star Wars Online, I do that. I mean, Star Wars Old Republic, I've been doing actually more of that one, but of course, uh, then I love Space Marine. Warhammer 40K Space Marine,
Yeah.
and
So
I
you
don't
wait
know
for
if you
the
can.
new one to come out.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. They got that woke woman doing the writing for that. It's like it makes me scared, especially with how Games Workshop wants to start doing woke crap themselves now.
Well, Games Workshop is a hypocritical POS at this point, aren't they?
Hmm.
They're like up there with
Yeah.
like Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Post. Yeah. Hey Pacific.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So we have Glenn. Glenn has joined us in here. Of
I
course,
don't know any
Pacific
of these
Forward.
names except for Old Man and Arwen and your better half who is planning your
Mhm.
death after the stream. So that's about
Oh
it.
yeah, I don't
I
blame
know
her.
Tim as well. You know.
So if you don't see me on either Gary's Saturday morning fun time or the Kings, you know what happened.
Oh yeah, don't worry. And for those wondering about the public domain stuff, I'm getting a bunch of the Abbott Costello stuff up. I think that'd be a good one. Someone mentioned Abbott Costello, so I was like, all right, let's do some Abbott Costello things.
How about Laurel and Hardy?
Who?
Laurel and Hardy,
I have to look into whatever in the public domain I can get.
because I'm sure there's got to be some, at least, especially the older stuff, has got to be in it. I mean, that was Hal Roach Studios that did that. So
Mm-hmm.
if they have Abbott and Costello in public domain, they got to have some of the old Laurel and Hardys as well.
Yeah. What about you, Bear? Why did you come to YouTube?
Why? Well, after years of well, I can't say years, but a while mocking my girls because they were constantly watching YouTube. They're watching this, that, PewDiePie, all that crap, and mocking. I don't know. Actually, I came across it was I came across one YouTuber. I don't name names, but he was supposed to have all these inside things, and it's like more hot air.
Oh,
than
Mike
anything.
Zero. Mike Zero. You mean the Miss Cleo of Star Wars? Is that the one? Everyone mentions Mike Zero. He's not going to chase you down with a crystal ball going, how dare you don't believe my predictions. Everyone talks
Okay.
about Ryan. It's Mike Zero. You're not going to lay it off. Doomcock has predictions, and then there's Mike Zero. There's only two people I know about.
Okay, well, that's the one. Yes, and I was listening. It's like after I go, oh, this is all BS, and then I came across Doomcock, and it's like okay, and then I started watching a little bit more and the shtick that he had with the whole thing, and then getting involved with the chat. I mean, so many great people in the chat, and off of that, meeting up with our Raymond Feliciano, his lovely wife Sandra, and of course Vet for Hire. All those guys just kind of got me encouraged. Brandon, of course, the anime guy, he got me.
I don't know about Brandon. Brandon kind of. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's been nice in the chats, trying to say if I need anything and just to reach out, and he has been. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, he was kind enough to have me go on his show, and then of course we did the New Year's Eve show, New Year's Day show together. But yeah, he's great to deal with, and of course. And when I had my first,
should we show them what I did for you? So let's see if they like it or they hate it.
Sure.
You have a question? I'll answer that too. I saw the question. Questions for FSS.
Okay.
What does he think the best trend in modern gaming is, and what does he think the worst one is? Well, right now, if I go by the Twitch standards, whichever is on the top of the list, and it's usually Asmer, and then it's Fortnite. Elden Ring is catching up to there, and then there's Call of Duty, and it depends on the community, but it's a battle no matter what. And for the worst one, it has to be Battlefield 2042 right now. I got suckered in because I was excited because I loved the 2142 game, and I was hoping this would be like a spiritual prequel. And I dropped $150 in the pre-order, so I had a season pass. And that game turned out to be hot garbage, and I haven't touched it since. Couldn't get a refund, nothing. But like I said, for Fortnite, it's cross-platform, cross-talk. You can get everyone in there. It's not in resource hog. Dead by Daylight's another good one if you like to run around and not get killed. It all depends on your taste and what you want to stream. Don't do it for what people will watch. Do it for why you want to play it. And for me, it's having my friends nearby to joke around.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're doing a Fortnite stream and literally for an hour and a half, everyone's making Fuda jokes and it's just going off the rails and people are making Fuda puns here and there. Don't Google Fuda, but don't do it. It's like not cheese. It's not cheese. But it's moments like that. Jester, yeah, dude, I got to shout out Jester. Jester Sin has been one of those guys that's been in my corner for God knows how long. I would shout out Arwen, but her driving sucks. So until her driving gets better, I'm not going to shout her out at all. So she's going to probably yell, hey, y'all, fuck off.
And if you do have questions for Fat Steven, please put them in the chat. Definitely.
Yeah. What do you mean, Nick and Neko bases here? What? Why are they shouting? What? I don't know. Someone's shouting out Nick. Echo base, hail, Coach Nick, Glenn. I think you're in the wrong chat.
I've never known Nick or them to come.
Glenn, yeah, Glenn. I think you're Jen. I think Glenn. I drive better than you do. That's because your eyes are open.
And we have the lovely Sherry. She's here with us.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll bring this up here. So this is what he's been doing for me.
He didn't ask. I was working on this earlier today. So what do you guys think about this for the new After Dark thing? So you can just put the picture there and he can write his own text right here. But I added the Death Star, as you can see.
I like it.
Even a sun. Yeah. I didn't know that Baron Ortega was actually from Star Wars. So I put the little reflection down there. So I thought it would be a little bit more for your liking. We can always add Mary Jane if you want to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Always.
No. Yeah, I was just, yeah. Cool.
I like that. Thank you. That is a really. You're very talented.
Oh, EBN turned you onto this chat. Oh, you went on? Have you been on EBN?
Yeah, I've been on there a couple times actually. Yeah, actually, I had a
Oh,
one-on-one. I had a one-on-one with Coach when they had when their open night, open nights, and I came in towards the end there, and we were on there for talking for a good, I'd say about 15, 20 minutes almost, just talking about stuff in general, and then that was just nice. And then, of course, he had a couple others I was on. So, yeah, Coach is a great guy. I really like him. Uh, as I was telling him, I'm trying to get my inside voice like he has to work on that.
I think that's Mike's settings at this point. No, okay. Culture's a great dude. He's also the Harry and the Hendersons too. So put Mary Jane back. I will after everyone has their blood pressure shortened down.
Settle down, everybody. Settle down. Settle down.
I've been there for years. That's how I heard about my channel or Baron's channel because I come in and I just torture Coach about the Sunday. Coach breaks down when me and X-Wing show up. It's hilarious. She's like, I cannot survive a stream with X-Wing and Steven in the same chat.
I got to actually talk to X-Wing. X-Wing wanted to do something with me here, so I got to hunt him down. And
hopefully it wasn't sexual.
No, nothing sexual. No, nothing. He was just honored that the fact that my daughter was impressed that I was talking with him, and he never heard that before, that someone was actually impressed that someone was talking to him. So
X-Wing's a good dude, man. And honestly, I like his sense of humor. I like the fact that he will come to bat for you. And a couple of days ago, he showed that, and I was just like, that's what I'm saying. That's one thing about YouTube. I just don't. When I get those days where I hate this platform, and it's not the people. I hate the platform. I hate the rules. I hate the censorship. I hate the guidelines we have to follow, in how you have to word everything. The people make up for it.
Mm-hmm. That's just it. There's so many wonderful people here.
It is, but at the same time, the words like fellowship and community, or I can't stand them because people use that word as a shield to hide behind while acting complete assholes, and that's anywhere. It doesn't even have to be YouTube. It can be in real life. It's like the politician standard. It's pretty much like, oh, let's help the disabled out. Let's help that minority out. Then, it's their month. Get everyone buy a red T-shirt. Fuck off. We're done. I would rather just have real people talk about their shit. Right. That's what it is. Like.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes around,
sorry.
I mean, when you're when you're saying about that community, we have a radio host here in town. His name is Sushrey, and he has what they call the foghorn words. Basically, before the woke stuff, there was that pre-woke, and one of the words that they foghorn was community, because it was so abused by people. Exactly what you're meaning. It's like, what piece of crap can we go out there and torment people on by saying, saying we're part of a community, and this is a community of this and a community of that, and basically bastardizing the actual true meaning of the word.
It has been bastardized. I mean, it feels like as much as a community is supposed to be this word that's supposed to bring people together. It's like when you have manipulators trying to call you family, and all they're trying to do is use that word because they know you have an insecurity about being abandoned or some other shit, and it I don't know. I guess it's because I'm either very paranoid or I'm very empathic when it comes to people. I can tell by voice tone if they're happy or upset. You know what I mean? I can pick up on it. I mean, and are you doing drugs?
Yes, tons of drugs. Tons of drugs. I'm just getting some of my bills ready for tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'm hooked on drugs all night long.
Yeah, Gilbert died yesterday. So that's Louis Anderson, Betty White, Norm Macdonald, and Bob Saget.
Saget? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What the hell? All our funny people are going, I like Gilbert. I mean, he had that way about him when he's out there talking, you know? And especially how he lost the job as the duck for what was that? Not Geico, but what was the duck for the insurance company? He was the voice for Aflac. He was the Aflac duck for.
Yeah, but he was also Iago from the Aladdin movies too. He was the parrot. He was the I think the headmaster for Problem Child, the orphanage at the same time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the orphanage or was it the adoption agency head? I can't remember which one it was.
I can't either.
Yeah, but that's not what really matters. It's his stand up. When he started becoming the
Mm-hmm.
dirty comic and going into that more, and you go through
Mm-hmm.
some of his stuff. If you can find the Arsenio Hall clip where he's just like, you had sex with Paula Abdul, and he's getting the whole crowd to go ooh the whole time, and I'm just sitting there going, oh god, and like Arsenio cannot get the interview through it. It's stuff like that. It's the same kind of devastating feel like when we lost Robin Williams, and Robin Williams
Mm-hmm.
is I was lucky enough to meet him twice, and
Oh.
Robin Williams is I don't think the world has been the same since.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not.
there's something missing. And we're
Mm-hmm.
watching. That's the race right now. What will kill comedy quicker, the death by age or the death by SJW? And that's the horrifying thing where we can't even take a joke.
Well, I think it's a combination because we're not really getting comics to replace them. People don't know how to do comedy. I mean, there was that time when you had all those great Jewish comics all hanging out at the Catskills, working on their bits and stealing each other's bits. Also, if you want to know about Uncle Milty and how they worked it through, went through all the Borscht Belt, working those clubs, working the way up, and refining it. And I don't know if you have comics that work that hard anymore. I mean, take a look at Amy Schumer.
I don't look at Amy Schumer. I like my eyesight.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
But I
not
mean,
funny. She's
no.
not funny.
Even when she steals something, she doesn't deliver it. She doesn't know how to deliver the line. And
Mitch Hedberg is a good one though. There was like
mhm.
I love Mitch Hedberg. Then we had like the blue collar stand up, which was pretty good with Ron White and
Mhm.
stuff like that. We had
Yep.
Kevin Panette, and like get a line. Around the world in 80 buffets. Salad comes with the meal. Salad's not a meal. And, like yeah,
Bill
comedy's the only
Burr.
thing can heal. Bill Burr's good. Yeah, I think
And,
comedy's the only thing left that can actually heal the world, and I don't think everything can fall on Dave Chappelle's shoulders.
no, and you're absolutely right because we need to have that. Because what is it? Your basic comedy is laughing at tragedy. It's taking the stuff that really bugs us or has been bothering us or whatever, and makes us laugh at it and
Yeah.
lightens that load off of our shoulders.
Well, that's just it. The comedy is supposed to offend you. It's supposed to make you think and realize that you can laugh at yourself because you've gone too far because you've been an idiot. That's
Hmm.
that's what comedy's main objective is. It's supposed to stop you in your tracks so you don't go too far. You're going to offend anyone. You're going to offend someone eventually. You know why? Because everyone will not get a joke. Not anyone will agree with your opinion. You're going to get offended no matter what. Life is not a non-offense. Okay. The only
Hmm.
difference between the offense of a joke and the offense of crime is one won't get you arrested.
Hmm.
Well, unless you're Kramer and you drop that N bomb on the stage, and everything just goes. He arrested his whole career after that. But
What the hell was with him on that one? I know he was always
I
kind of a
don't
loose
know.
cannon, but
I don't
it's
know.
like, I mean, I remember seeing him for the first time because I'm old enough when Fridays came out on ABC, their answers to Saturday Night Live. And of course, it was Larry David, him, Melanie Chardoff, a bunch of the others, and for us, we were counterculturing the counterculture because we went from Saturday Night Live because it was that time where Saturday Night Live was going from the original cast to the new one. It wasn't having a little bit of rough time, and these guys were even being more irreverent. And of course, so seeing Michael Richards on that one, of course, UHF with Weird Al,
You
and
got people. Sorry.
hmm? Oh yeah, go.
You got. I watched a clip today. You got people like Jimmy Kimmel, who's literally calling politicians "clan mom" with a K, and you think that's funny? You're calling someone a clan mom, and you think
Hmm.
just because you're on TV you have a right to do it. Jimmy Kimmel hasn't been funny in God knows how fucking long.
The Man
Like,
Show.
I miss Daniel Tosh.
Hmm.
It's like it's.
He,
I'm terrified.
Kimmel was funny when he was on Win Ben Stein's Money, and when he was on, of course, the Man Show with Adam Carolla. And of course, he had Adam Carolla help balance him out on that. The moment he got, where he thought he was so big and all that, that's when he started sucking big time.
Well, it's like Colbert. Colbert squandered what he earned from the Daily Show.
Yeah.
We will never get the years back of Jon Stewart, and hell, heaven forbid, what's the jackass's name right now that's on the Daily Show?
Noah Trevor.
Noah Cares. That's what it's called. Yeah, no one cares. And he's a jackass too. And now I'm getting Uber Eats commercials with his face on it. I'm like, now I don't want Uber Eats. I can't.
No. And they think those are funny commercials?
No, they're not supposed to be funny, but it's like, hey, that's what you chose, Uber Eats?
Yeah. Well, they think it's funny, but it's like, are you kidding me? And even like Letterman, Letterman in the early days, he was really good. And of course, when he had that tip, went over to CBS, he started going downhill.
Conan was great. Honestly, I think Conan. I think if Conan got the show, it would have changed things. Like, comedy was that saving grace where you can put it on the background, have it on a playlist, and it would just like Carlin or anything like that. It would just be good. In living color, Mad TV. I think Mad TV was the last of the SNL style that was funny. And SNL's last funny episode, in my opinion, was the 40th anniversary, all because of that Jeopardy episode. That Jeopardy episode was SNL's funeral after that, like, because it's just been shit. They burned themselves when they were mocking the Gina Carano stuff too.
Yeah, it's like they went from satire and poking fun to just being mean and mean spirited. And that's not humor. The same thing with those roasts. I mean, when you watch the old roasts, it's like a bunch of people who know each other just ripping. Yep. Yeah. But a lot of the new ones, it's like these people don't know each other. You're going out there and saying all these things. It doesn't have that same level.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part. What was it? Like that one clip with Gilbert Godfrey. He just gets on the stage after Ice-T. He's like, he just had the best bit ever. I can't go around saying I'm going to rape all you white bitches. I can't say that, but I'm going to use it. And he says it anyways because it's a great bit. And it's like, and I'm sorry for saying trigger words, but that's it. It was good. It was good. And it bothers me with losing comedy.
And I think it was also that roast, but I can't remember which one it was when he went into the Aristocrats, the Aristocrat show.
I think that was the roast right after the World Trade.
Yeah,
because he Osama been hurt or something, and it was just dead quiet, and he was joking about that too. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, see, that's what got him lost with the Affleck, because he made a joke about the tsunami that hit Japan in the nuclear power plant. And one of the biggest group of people that use Affleck was Japanese. They got all offended, and that's how he lost being the Affleck duck.
It's so easy to get offended, honestly. I make a joke every time Arwen types that people in Japan get a tsunami warning on their phone because it's so freaking loud. They had an earthquake not too long ago, but I don't think they got hit by a tsunami. That was a couple weeks ago. So it's natural disasters happen. Yeah, maybe timing is a little bit of a thing to be wary on that, but I don't know.
It's I remember because when the shuttle exploded back in '86,
was that Challenger?
Yeah, the Challenger, and the jokes started coming out. And one of the jokes was, what does NASA stand for? Need another 7 astronauts. And of course, people are all going, whatever. And then someone sat back and said, no, these jokes, as tasteless as they seem, are rough, are hard. These are actually healing coping mechanisms. And, people were saying them, they realize what the gravity of the situation is, but this is their way to cope with what's happening.
Yeah.
And that is lost. I mean, well, I suppose because people don't want to cope. They want acceptance. They don't want to cope. It means you actually have to struggle.
And that's why I actually, some people are iffy with Crowder. I still like Crowder, especially Dave Landau. Dave Landau is a good one. But another person I'd love to pick break. I would love to have a one-on-one and just talk with Quarter Black, man, because he's a gamer at heart, and I would just like to actually just talk to him, like, just talk. Like what you're doing now is what I want to do on my channel. And you're probably going to give me inspiration to do it. So I will have to put in really small letters, Baron, help me somewhere on the stream. But yeah, this is good.
So of course, in the chat, make sure you go to Fat Stevens.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's
I
really
want
just,
to.
it's
Eh,
just a channel.
mhm,
It's I'm on. You'd be better off finding me on Twitch.
mhm.
But thank you.
Do you have your Twitch?
We're one away from 200 followers on Twitch.
Okay.
But Twitch is
Yeah.
a nice place to hide when I don't want to look at the YouTube. I hate the YouTube interface, and I'm like, every time it pops up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go Twitch.
Here I thought
That's
you were
really,
gonna. Here I thought you were gonna say because you see my face and you get fed up, you go to Twitch.
I don't care about your face. And people who try to dictate whether to show your face or not don't get it.
Mhm,
No one has
mhm,
the right to dictate who who we show our face to and who we don't. We have
mhm,
streamers out there that are at like that never show their face. They're at 300, 400K. It doesn't
mhm.
matter. It's the fact that their content and how they deliver themselves is what's so good. As soon as someone tries to, that's the thing with YouTube. You're gonna become a YouTuber. There's one thing you got to realize. If anyone tries to dictate and tell you who you are and try to demoralize your character, don't fucking talk to them. If anyone bitches and moans that you don't show your face, you're hiding behind an avatar and a fake handle, it's the internet. You're allowed to do that. It's okay. It's not law. It's not breaking a crime. And see if you're not having fun, stop doing it.
Right. I mean, that was one of the big questions. Mike, Mexican Iron Man asked me. He goes,
Yeah.
"Why are you doing this?" I go, "Because I want to have fun."
Yeah.
Because obviously he was expecting, "Well, I want to be money. I want to be monetized." Blah blah blah. My attitude, I just sat back. I just want to have fun. He goes, "You have the best attitude." It's like, okay, thank you. That's exactly
Being
what it is here.
and I will lay a smackdown with monetization. The worst thing about monetization is you're gonna have people that you once called friend will eventually become envious or jealous of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna happen. It sucks. As soon as you get monetized, that's where everything seems to take more of an emotional hit, especially when you get it either on a daily basis. So you have to remember: is monetization worth my mentality, my stability, and my emotional standard? Is it going to affect my health? Because there's other ways to donate, and you don't have to give YouTube a single cent. And
Mm-hmm.
monetization, that that was a drive for me. And now that I did accomplish that, I don't care for it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And a lot of people think monetization changes everything. No, yeah, sure, you get a nice little flashy colored message on your screen, but it, it's just I don't see it as something people should strive for. It
Mm-hmm.
might be a goal, but are you wanting to get monetized because you just want to get monetized? Or do you want to get monetized because it's going to benefit you as a person and your channel at the same time? And I think people need to start looking at that more.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I used to get super chats once in a while or a donation once in a while, it still made me feel uncomfortable because I was on the streets at 16. I lived in shelters. I've slept under
Mm-hmm.
heating vents, under Ys and rec centers, and I never panhandled. I never asked for money. And I know super chats and donations is not panhandling. Or when people come and message me, hey, how can I help you? Do you need anything? It still throws me off because I am not used to that type of offering without strings attached. So it throws me off. And I've had enough people, friends especially, yell at me going, they want to do it. Stop saying you don't have to. It's weird. I'm like, it's part of my thing, right? So monetization is great, but it doesn't make you a YouTuber. YouTuber is
Mm-hmm.
your content. You don't have to be monetized to make content. And I just don't think it should be the thing most focused on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I'm making sense.
You're making perfect sense. I know exactly what you're meaning. Uh, because for me, like I said, I have no. Honestly, I have no interest in that. I just find the time that I spend with yourself, Vigilante, and 24 when we do our show. For me, honestly, I said before, it's therapy for me. It really is.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you guys or going on Gary's show or being on some, getting invited. I love the conversation. It just brings me back to the days when I was in radio. And just news for everybody out there. Anybody who puts themselves in front of a microphone or the camera, even if they don't have their face on it, but an avatar, we all are putting on a role. We have ourselves. It is ourselves, but we're putting on a role as it is. So whether you show your face or not, it's immaterial. We're here having fun, and it's not an important thing. I like showing my face because I'm egotistical, but as it goes, it's like, if honestly, if you can turn the show on and listen to it on like a radio without seeing anybody, would you have the same amount of entertainment as you actually saw it on the screen? If the answer is yes, then it doesn't matter. And I grew up with radio, the theater of the mind, and that's the big important thing for me. Is it entertaining to listen to? Is it entertaining banter? Are people having fun? Yeah, if you can show stuff, like people like their collections and toys and such, but as it goes, it's talking. It's just being with the people and having great conversations. And I have a hard time sometimes asking people on because, like you were saying before, it's like I don't want anybody to think that I'm asking people on to boost my numbers or try to ride on coattails. It's because I want to talk with people and have fun and have a different approach to it. And first, I do have to say one thing here, though. Wendy Webb, our newlywed here, I hope you're having fun with your movie honeymoon with the lovely Jemmy. So, welcome, Wendy. She just got married on Saturday. So, just wanted to bring that out there. But yeah, I mean, that's the important thing is the conversation, having fun, talking, sharing of ideas, even if you don't agree, just being respectful to it.
Yeah, I just think I'm not hating on anyone that wants to get monetized,
Hmm. No.
but I think the conversation, the friendships you make are a lot more important
Hmm.
because a lot of
And
people.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I was going to say I agree with you. Like, if someone wants to get monetized, fine. That's no problem. I'm so open on it. It's just like it's the people you meet along the way, the conversations. You and me, all that. Yeah.
I'm not preaching. I don't, I'm trying not to cross preaching. So it's not preaching. It's just
No.
I have seen. I'm going to quote Blade Runner. I have seen shit you wouldn't believe.
Hmm.
Trust me. And I don't think anyone deserves to go through any of that. And it's funny how things can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, petty jealousies, and that's the way it was also in any form.
Well,
I
it's like
suppose you
high
could call this.
school. It's like high
Yeah.
school. Thank God I didn't graduate. I didn't get to graduate. I got kicked out. But I do have a degree in network engineering. But I'd rather work in retail than places like I worked at Hot Topic. Why? A, I was on disability, and B, it was the only place that would accept me to work the part-time hours I could to make money. And C, it had enough pop culture things in there that I could relate to and sell, and I would have fun doing it.
Hmm.
And honestly, transforming fucking IP addresses to hexadecimal, y'all fucking crazy. I'll never do that again. No, never.
You had me lost with the hexadecimal.
Don't worry about it. I'm not getting into it.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and of course, getting the discount didn't hurt either. Working at Hot Tropic, I know what you mean too. It's like, I worked for a while working in a sandwich shop not too long ago, because my back went out, and as long as I could handle doing that job before my back finally said, "No, you can't do this." And it's like, yeah, it's not a grand and glorious job, but damn, I love the interaction with the people, and the people I work with, and the customers that come through, and trying to do the best job possible. And that was the big thing. It's like the interaction, and I love, as much as I am an introvert, believe it or not, I am. Uh, Things like this help me get out of that shell and not be as much of an introvert and actually engage with people. You might say.
For me, when I was working back at Hot Topic before 2020 shit hit the fan, I was actually getting used to dealing with crowds because I worked in the mall. I was able to get through So kind of like agoraphobia kind of shit. And when lockdowns happened, it all came back full force because I can't even go to a convenience store for like a certain amount of time. I'll start having anxiety. It's brutal. My spine, this is gonna sound crazy, but my spine is herniated in the lower part. I think the L1S1 area or the L1. I can't remember the actual numbers, but
L5S1.
something like that. To the point where any neurosurgeon that's looked at it, uh, they said they can't touch me because it's around like a 99% percentile. That if they move a little bit, they will paralyze me from the waist down. So that injury came from 9 years of being a bike messenger. And in those 9 years, I have been hit by 16 stupid drivers. Yeah, 16. I didn't
Wow.
get into these vehicles. These are people who don't pay attention, doing right hand turns, left hand turns, opening doors on oncoming traffic, cutting out of parking lot, all that stuff. And that last one messed me up pretty bad.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized physically, it's also quite embarrassing dealing with it because relying on a disability program is it's not fun. You're judging yourself more than people judge you, and you look at the future of like, can I get in a relationship? Can I actually have a family? Being like being possibly one of those people that eventually get me to be taken care of like a kid because you might have days where you can't walk days where you can, and it adds to that whole phobia of wanting to even deal with people and go out and try to have that social life. And YouTube has made up for that, but at the same time, it's scary as hell. I don't mean to be depressing, but it's
No.
part of me. I don't use it for sympathy. I'm not using it to get a dollar here or there. I'm using it because it's part of my life. I lived it, and I'm now living with the after effects. And I wouldn't be who I am because of it. I'm not saying, hey,
I
you
know.
want to be a better person, get hit by a car. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, I could be dead.
Yeah,
It's not worse.
yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. It's like I know where you're coming from also because I had the L4, L5, my first one, and here I am, basically unable to work, out of work for a whole year, and I have two
It
young
sucks.
daughters, and
It
they're
sucks,
wanting to
doesn't
do stuff, and it does, and you start questioning, am I being a good husband? Am I being a good father? You feel like you're letting everybody down.
it? Yep. And the worst part is like with my actual immediate family is the ones they don't even believe I'm disabled. They just think I'm lazy.
Hmm.
And when my dad was in the hospital and finally got out, and he was asking one of the brothers for help, they're like, "Well, why can't Steven do it? Why can't Steven do it? Because he's limited. He's having problems walking. Well, why is he having problems walking?" And I'm hearing this. And I'm like, you were there when I got my seeing the neurosurgeon. You know about my spine,
Hmm.
and they just don't respect it. And that's where it factors in again, like you're saying, being a good husband, being a good man, being a good father, being a good human being. You don't
Hmm.
even have to. Let's just say you don't even have those doubts. The rest of society already puts those doubts on you because the way
Hmm.
they look down on you, like, oh, you're on disability. Well, you're just using our tax money, bitch. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, you don't pay disability. I'm sorry, your taxes don't go there.
Hmm.
And it start when you start having that realization of how the tier system works in society, you start realizing that you're just above poverty,
Hmm.
and you then realize, how can if I can barely support myself, how am I to support anyone else? And
Hmm.
it just hits you with like a brick.
Yeah, it
And
does. It
Baron,
really does.
I think you're a good man. I think you're doing the best you can.
Thank you.
No one's ever told you otherwise, right? But if you ever have those insecurities and then your kids are old enough, talk to them,
Hmm.
tell
Hmm.
them.
Oh yeah, I think my kids all know, and they've turned out good. Actually, my youngest daughter, she's actually my stepdaughter. She's actually being a caretaker for her grandmother, who is not able to take care of herself. So I mean, right there, you can see the big heart that she has to do that. And of course, I have no idea what my blonde mop is doing. She's all over. She wants to be an EMT. So, but I don't know what's all going. But she's got her life going, and of course, the long suffering. She makes it known. She's always been rooting. even when you don't believe everything, that's the thing. You don't believe what they're saying to you because
You
you're so
don't,
hard on yourself.
yeah, you don't believe it. You just think, what do you want from me?
Exactly.
That's
And
terrifying because, yeah, it's the same thing. Like I am dealing with my limitations, but I also take care of my dad. My brothers aren't here every day to do things. And
mhm,
it's messed up because I'm also at the realization that when he does pass and I'm stuck here in his house,
mhm,
there's going to be no one here to help me clean up. There's going to be no one here to help me move stuff out.
mhm,
And if they do show up, it's not to help me. It's probably what can they take, and I don't want that.
right.
It,
Exactly. The
the,
scavengers.
the loneliness factor creeps in, and you realize you're doing this all by yourself.
hmm
And even if they're blood, it doesn't mean they're family, and I will stand by that. Blood means nothing.
hmm I agree. I mean, you sometimes have the strongest relationship with those that you call your brothers and sisters, and there's no blood. It's just that whatever reason, uh, something connects, and you have that stronger relationship. And it seems like sometimes family, because they're blood, they think they can take advantage of you because you're blood, and there's nothing you can do. You have to. You have to put up with me. And it's like, no, we don't. There's this whole thing being called disowned. you know.
Yeah, I pretty much have done that to my mom because just the way she acts,
hmm
and it's reaching that point with other people too. It's like I have patience like a saint. I've been told this numerous times, and it's getting to a point now with people. It's like I don't ever want to get to the point where I have to cut someone off because they
hmm
don't see what fucking effect they're doing on people.
Right.
But when you reach that point where you're like my mentality is worth more than whatever I knows you say, it doesn't matter anymore, and I don't want
hmm
that anyone. Sorry, I mean, this sounds like a more intellectual, like kind of emotional thing than an actual like gaming.
Hey, I mean, conversations can go anywhere, and that's what I like about this. You never know which direction the conversations are going to go, but they're always fascinating. There's no doubt about
Mm-hmm.
that.
That is true.
So gaming. So going back to
No, no,
gaming,
no,
gaming,
no,
gaming,
no,
gaming.
no, no, no. No, I appreciate this conversation.
Uh,
I wish I had more. I wish I had people actually wanting to do this more and more. I would love to have
mhm,
do this with other people because it's just
mhm,
talking
mhm.
and
And
yeah.
that's what I believe in. This is why I wanted to do this. I figured this is going to be a little different than most people have out there. It's like, let's just talk. It's just, we're so busy with promoting this or that or doing the fight. It's like, let's just take time off and just bullshit. You know, whatever it is that's on our hearts or on our minds or anything like that. That's the important thing.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to donate to Steven for my tequila fund, I'll put the link in later. No, I'm just kidding.
Only if I can share.
See, maybe, but the thing I've noticed the most is like I was saying with the monetized stuff. I got monetized on YouTube. I got monetized on Twitch. I got an Epic Creator Code that you can use in the Epic Store in FN. Like I think I've done everything in a year that takes a lot of people forever to do.
hmm
And now it's like, okay, it's there, but it's I don't want it defining me anymore.
hmm Yeah, it's the chase becomes more important than the fun, and
Yeah.
then what happens is when you start doing that, it affects how you present yourself, and they can see the change. People can see the change. It's like, well, it's not as fun as that person's not as fun as they were anymore because the focus has changed. The focus has changed, and it's been a downfall for people in all forms of entertainment, being a radio, television, motion pictures, YouTube.
Yeah.
The big thing is just to go out there, be yourself, and screw you if you don't like it. You don't have to watch, but yet they still do.
And don't let anyone get to you.
Right.
But with that, eventually something will get to you. And I
hmm
can say from personal experience, I will never get into it. But there's been moments where you question why you're getting all of this negativity and things, and all you've done is do the same thing you do every day, and yet
hmm
it seems to come out of the woodwork, and it can it can destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit it. The last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I have hit modes of depression I haven't felt in quite a while, and I will just stare blankly at the sky, the wall. My body is just ultimately heavy, and I don't want to do anything. I question being a content creator. I question streaming. Question whether or not even turning on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get in those holes, it's very hard to get out of them. And when you start taking those steps up the stairway that finally appears to get out of there, the simplest thing can just knock you back down again. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. We're still human behind the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The avatar means nothing. We're still real people. And
Right.
I cannot be honest. I can be weak. I'm weak. Like I have felt defeated lately, and it's because of that depression affecting it. And there's been some good people that are helping me out, but like most people who wear their heart on their shoulder or on their sleeve, you can only get punched so much in the arm with a June buggy
Mm-hmm.
before you fall down. And it's when you think about it, it does bring me to tears because it's hard admitting how hard it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
How hard it's been to get out of bed in the morning, to just empty a dishwasher, to make sure I can help my dad with the groceries, to hopefully come online and hope there's not something bad happening. Both my dad's dealing with shit too. Like both of his sisters in the last couple of weeks got diagnosed with breast cancer,
No.
and that's brutal for him too.
Mm-hmm.
And I the worst part was last year when my dad was in the hospital with my brothers. Not one of them, when they came over to pick up clothes for him, asked if I was okay. And that was pretty much the biggest slap in the face I've ever had. And I realized right then it was more like, you just don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And those things bottle up. It's like, oh, just bottle up, push to the side, push to the side. Not everyone's can do that. It eventually eats at you. And I've come across some things. It's something it's a line I came up with when we were covering the Ottawa stuff. I've never been more proud to be a human being, and
Mm-hmm.
never been more embarrassed to be a human being at the same time by seeing how people act and still
Mm-hmm.
act and villainize or point the finger and project while hiding behind whether it's a hashtag or a word. And it's the concept of being a bigger person falls on you. Do I want to go down a road where I blast everything
Mm-hmm.
because my emotions are so shot? Or do I keep it bottled up and keep silent because you know that is the right thing to do? And then you see the things going on all around you where they're doing the opposite of what you know is right, and you're like, well, why do they get away with it? Why do these people on Twitter get away with it? Why do people anywhere get away with it? Yet you just keep sticking to this road, and it's you're wondering if your own principles is poisoning you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you lock up, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sorry, I don't mean to be depressing. I'm very
Oh
sorry.
no, it's not depressing at all. I can see exactly where it is. It's like you basically it's your ethos, your creed that you have for your lifestyle is put to the question, and they're pushing and pushing, and
My
it's like
existence
making
has
you
been
want
put
to
to
break.
question. Yeah,
Hmm? Yeah.
my existence.
Hmm. And that is, it's sad that people want to push, 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 and they think, oh, that person sounds like a tough guy when they're doing their shows, but it's like, well, again, it's there's an act, there is something behind it. It's not someone going out there being an a hole.
It's Rob
They're just.
Williams. Yeah, Rob Williams, prime example. Rob Williams had a lot of shit in the background, but he always may try to make other people laugh first. But he was still
Mhm.
broken.
Yeah, it was a big thing for him to, even though he was hurting, he didn't want other people to hurt. And I think you find that with a lot of comics out there. You start seeing a lot of these comics, and you find out a little bit that behind the scenes they're hurting, and the one thing they don't want to do is have other people hurt with them. They want people to feel good. They don't want them to come
Oh
down
no,
to their level.
oh no, no. There's people out there just want to hurt, and they just
Oh yeah.
they will just do it because they need to have that recognition that there's more
hmm
people like them.
hmm But I'm talking about the good comics. I'm talking about the good ones, the ones that have the soul, the ones that have really lasted, like Robin Williams
Yeah,
in those. There's something there. They want to have people laugh. Of course, unlike the Amy Schumers, which basically they're just dirty, filthy human beings.
hey
And
Bruce.
uh, hey, Bruce Lombardo, good to see you, sir. Long time. Uh,
Hope you're
and
doing well, Bruce. Long time no talk, bro.
him
And
and
yeah,
his. Did you? Just curious. Did you ever do pen and paper role playing games at all?
once in the shelters,
Okay.
never after that.
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
just didn't know if that might have been something that was also one of those that helped got you going with some of these games because really like the Star Trek games and all that are a bit into the role playing game aspect even if they are
I think
PvPs and such
I
like
think
that.
it was by ADHD. If it interests me and I got into it, I would spend hours and just lose myself. But
hmm
yeah, and I can be frank. I don't know. I know that I'm. I don't think a lot of people talk this in a real fashion. But if those are wondering and they don't want to ask that, no, I'm not okay. But I'm getting there. And there's been a lot of good people out there reaching out.
hmm
But there's also ones reaching out that are just trying to see whether they can weasel information, and you're not that smart.
hmm
You're not. But I appreciate the effort. I really do, and it's I've heard things like just take a break, just take a vacation. It's like I'm trapped in a concrete room, afraid to go outside or even go to the convenience store because as soon as I see a group of people, I start having anxiety. And the mask you have to wear is it doesn't help either. And
hmm
it's it's a lot easier to step on someone
hmm
than it is to just ignore them. And I think I'm going off topic. It's just this year sucks.
Oh, speaking about Mask, I saw that one where you replied back to that so-called writer for Saturday Night Live about he'll bitch slap people if they're not wearing masks.
Oh, that jackass! Yeah, I kind of like
Yeah.
wait. I just replied, waiting for next random tweet about random stranger slapping me in the face.
hmm Oh, I went through that thread because I was just curious because just like grab some popcorn and let's see what the thread has to say. Boy, was he being roasted alive by everybody
Yeah.
on that
Well,
one.
when do you make a good? When do you make a good thing though? Because if it wasn't for me talking about my accidents, right, and how I can't sit in certain cars, pretty much
Mhm,
people told me you got PTSD, and I'm like, that makes sense now. So I have to get tested for that too
mhm,
because I can't sit in cars in certain views, sit in certain heights. I'll start freaking out, and my eyes will just go back into the memory of right before the door hit me, and my face slamming on the ground, and it replays over in my head, and I just went out of the car, and it's horrifying feeling. Because I've heard stories, I've heard things, I've seen people say like, "Oh, that's all bullshit. There's no way you've been hit by 16 cars." I'm like, how do you know if you weren't there?
mhm.
Do you want me to bring up my MRIs and show them to you and be like, here, what do you think happened? Someone dropped a milkshake on my lap, and all of a sudden I just bent over backwards. Like it's crazy, and I think it's
mhm.
even worse because I think the reason it affects a lot of us so much is because we put expectations in people, especially ones like we call family, whether it's blood or not,
Mhm.
to understand, and you can't always have it that way. So maybe it's the fault of the expectation of the person on other people than it is the people that are just throwing around the naivety.
Kind of hoping that some people have the same heart that we do, and finding out that many of them don't. Kind of that way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm,
Trust is a hard thing for me to give to people anymore.
mhm.
It
Well,
is.
and that's just it. The old saying goes: you say you give courtesy to everybody, but trust is earned. People go out there and say about you have to trust, respect. It's like trust, respect. Those things are earned. You have to
Yeah,
show something. We'll give you courtesy. We'll be polite. That's one thing. That's expected for anybody, but don't expect me just to give something like that blindly to you, and then find out later that you're doing the "can you squeal like a pig" to me.
Yeah, and like, there's going to be another Steven Seagal out there eventually, and you know what? He might not. He might go too far. This stuff like this might actually damage them. Like, we don't. That's the thing with the screen generation, especially when it comes to hostility or pettiness or jealousness of their channel. How far are you willing to go with whispers before you are the cause, or like an attachment to, let's say, a person self-deleting?
Hmm.
I don't understand. Like, that's the thing that boggles my mind the most, is that I've seen some crazy hurtful stuff, whether like it's Twitter when we're dealing with like woke echo chambers and all that crap, and
Hmm.
threats, or we're seeing people literally just blasting another creator, and you don't even know the person well enough to do so, but you think you
Hmm.
should do so because of ego or narcissism, whatever you want to call it, and
Right.
you might be the contributing factor to that person one day just not being alive no more. And I
Hmm.
don't think people put that in retrospect, that you could literally be the reasoning behind all that stuff. And that's maybe, I think that's very much why I don't go down those roads. I'm not trying to get dark. I'm sorry. I get kind of
No,
weird when I'm talking, man. I'm sorry.
no. I mean, I think it's actually something very important to talk about, and I see the people in the chat responding to it positively, and and talking about on their aspects, and that's right. I mean, it might not seem much, but someone can be that straw that breaks the camel's back. I mean, all that's been on there, and it might be just that one snarky last comment that is it. That's the breaking point, and it can go in many directions
Yeah.
when that happens. And you don't want to send somebody that way. I mean, yeah, it's fun, doing stuff about doing the rants and the trigger alerts and stuff like that is one thing, but to actually where you're destroying a person's soul,
I
their
think
the
you have a
desire.
right to, and I think you have the right to do it because, like, you feel slighted, or you feel like they hurt your feelings, that you have the right to diminish the character to the point of no return. And I don't think anyone has that power. And the fact that anyone can even acknowledge in those types of actions, I don't respect you. I don't
Mhm.
care if you've served, if you're an officer, a firefighter, a nurse, a medic. If you cross the lines where you are literally assassinating a person's character just to make yourself feel better, you're not a human being in my eyes.
Mhm.
And if you even, and let's say this, if you let's say this, if you ever have a problem with someone, a lot of us have been raised in this mentality by our parents, by our grandparents, whoever it is who raised us or we looked up to. You have a situation or you have a problem with someone or something, you reach out, you try to have a discussion, talk it out, work it out, right?
Right.
That's pretty much how we've done things in life. And for some reason, we don't have to do that anymore. We can just crap talk and move on.
Mhm.
And that's living in a high school mentality. It's like the school class, right? Where the bully will pick out the weakest kid they deem the weakest kid, and the rest of
Mhm.
the class will jump in because they don't want to be the next weakest kid.
Right.
And that's fucking petty. I find it
Mhm.
childish.
Mhm. And it takes a strong person to go and defend that one person. It's like that one that comes around and say, "Hey, you got to come through me."
But those don't happen as much anymore because
No.
it's more afraid of the cancel culture within your
Mhm.
own your own neighborhood, so to say. Like, let's just
Mhm.
call it a neighborhood, like if it's on a social platform.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of people got enough shit on their plate every day that they don't need to walk in on that stuff. And
Right. And then
I
what
get that.
happens?
Sorry.
What happens when that supposedly weak kid finally snaps, and that bully finds out that weak kid isn't exactly as weak as he was? I mean, sometimes that's nice, to hear that the bully gets put in his place by that weak kid, but unfortunately, that's not as often.
Wow, I just lost two more. Thank you, YouTube.
Oh no.
Yeah, YouTube's yeah. Well, no, I'm not worried. I usually watch it. It's a bad addiction to watch the numbers. But
Hmm.
We need to either be decent to one another. It's senseless to aim to antagonize others. Yeah, that's true, but that's it. They're not antagonizing others. They're just doing in their little. It's weird, the high school mentality that some people can't get let go of.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been bullied through school. I know what it's like. I'm like, you guys are just doing the same thing over and over again. It's not the person you're bullying that's immature. It's the way you're handling things.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's why I was so happy the last 2 years of my high school. I spent half the day, I'm almost 20 miles away from my school, doing Voltec. I was one of the only ones that went out there that wasn't the delinquents they wanted to get rid of. I actually volunteered to go out that way. It's like, hey, I'm with my people here. I mean, this is we didn't have that around there because we were all in the same boat. We were all on the same level. We didn't have that bully sense because here we are at Volt Tech and we're supposedly supposed to be acting a lot more mature than we really were. But I was happy to get out of the high school for the half a day for those last 2 years just to get away from the bullshit.
I think the bullshit is. I think there's too much bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like how people are trying to label criticism now as like harassment. I'm like, no, criticism's been around a long time, especially like say if you're an artist or a musician. If you're not playing the right notes or staying in the right color scheme, people are going to criticize it because that's where you need to improve. It's supposed to be constructive. It's not supposed to tear you down. We're not born the bestest things ever, and I am. It's tiring, and I'm sick of seeing stuff like that. I'm just like, you can still be good and still fail. That's the brilliance, right? We're not perfect beings. That's why evolution is always ongoing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What people need to have a little bit more of the inklings, where you had C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and the rest of them all sitting around critiquing each other's work every week, and yeah, they could get right down to the bare bones. But the thing was, it wasn't meant to hurt, destroy. It was meant to help build up. It's like this is where you got the weak spots here. This is where you got the strong spots. So you have to work on here and so on, and then have the discussions back and forth. No, I do think this is the way it is. Okay, you're defending. It's a discussion back and forth. It was only meant.
Hold on. I gotta bring some reality in because this is hilarious. Disclosed TV just dropped this. Two women at New Jersey's only all women's prison have both fallen pregnant after having sex with the same transgender inmate. No, that would happen. No, that would never happen. Oh my god.
As I like to say, the hell you say. Jeez. And I wonder if that's going to increase a little bit now. And then start finding out there's a couple more that come out. That we're living in clown world.
We are living in clown world, but we're also living in a point now where like we don't want to wake up and turn into the things we're trying to fight against, right? Like how we're like, let's say like we're going against Lord of the Rings from Amazon. We also got to remember, like, to keep the line in the sand, and we must go no farther and not turn into the ones that are throwing all this shit at us, because then we've just become the next iteration, and that's scary to think. And honestly, CBS, you still fucking suck because your Discovery and your Picard is bullshit. And if anyone wants to doubt me on that, that's literally my opinion. I'm not hiding behind it. It's garbage. When you're taking shit models from Stowe and throwing it in your series because you can't come up with your own creation or ship design, I hope you paid enough Zen for it.
I don't. Yeah, I honestly cannot understand where are they going with that with Paramount and CBS. With
bankruptcy. That's where they're going. They're going to bankruptcy. Yeah. That's where they're going, bankruptcy.
Yep, exactly. Because why keep on throwing money into something that's sinking? It's just like even with like Doctor Who. It's like I'd see the ratings they had for this last Flux thing they had, and they were worse than the darkest times of the old series. When the old series was really getting its low ratings, their ratings were below that, and they have a wider range, wider audience.
Wait. What was the line you just said when I went,
Oh, I said that the ratings. I mean, when the original Doctor Who, when they were getting really low ratings.
I honestly, sorry. I honestly think Flux would have been better if it was different doctors and different writers, because I tried watching at least 2 to 3 episodes of it, and I could have seen potential in it if it wasn't the Jodie bullshit. Because the thing is, everything after the Timeless Child is already looked upon with hate and disgust because of how they treated the lore and the history and literally the timeline base of Doctor Who. So as much as Chinballs is gone, he's already taken an amber turd on all of Doctor Who. And like, oh, this is the best ever. I'm like, no, it's not. Tennant was great. Capaldi was all right. Matt Smith was good, and then we have like Baker and everyone else, and you can't match that, because you also have to look at how great the writing was and what they did with the limited funds and technology for its time. And they won't get that because everything's turning into an action sequence. We don't need action sequences. We need dialogue. We need characters. We need growth, not bickering on a TARDIS.
And we also need the cliffhanger. That was the other thing too, is having that cliffhanger. It's like, oh, what's going to happen next week? I mean, all along with that is like even some of the bad writing they had with the Colin Baker era still shines over what we've been getting.
Yeah.
Even with Vengeance on Varos. And that's just it. We love the lore. We love everything about it, and but you're absolutely right. We have to make sure we do not become the enemy. I have met the enemy. He is us. If I remember right from Pogo, the comic strip.
Yeah.
And Bruce Lombardo just sat back right there. Is we don't want Tom Baker in a Michael Bay film.
No, we don't.
No. It's not what Doctor Who is about. It's and I was just thinking about that today. It's like, it's just you're relying too much on the special effects. Ooh, look what we had that the other show didn't have. We're so much better. It's like, no, you're not.
We're really not. No, it's and shit. We covered a lot of topics, so I didn't even expect that shit. And if anyone thinks, and I apologize, because I do apologize, because like Baron said, when you're hard on yourself, you don't know if you said something too out of line or not, because some people don't like talking about the reality of just in general with interaction with people, and it's like that's it. And I don't know. Sorry, Baron. You keep apologizing. Maybe.
I don't know why you're apologizing. I think I think this is good. I mean, again, I don't think you've stepped over a line. We're good enough friends to know that if there was a case, that I would have said something, and I don't think so. I mean, the thing is again, it's showing that we're human beings, that we're more than just what we put out there. We have many interests and likes and passions, and people have to understand that this is a real thing. It's not an act in that aspect. It's not something that we're using to try to advance ourselves. It's something that we truly love. And we keeping ourselves in check so we don't, exactly like you said, become what we despise. We don't want to be that. And I try to do that all the time when I go out there and go on some of these shows. It's like, okay, I want to make sure to keep it fun, light, enjoyable. Depends on where you're going. Obviously, I don't want to end up being those zombies out there.
Yeah, that is true.
And I think, of course, I know that I have you around. If I started doing that, I know you'd bitch slap me, and I'd earn it.
I'm not violent. I don't get violent.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about a verbal one. You take me aside and go, Baron, you're being a schmuck, and and of course, take it coming from you. I understand. I respect your opinion. And it's just like I said, when you're doing all those convoy stuff, that you were right down the middle. You called it as it is, and that's what I appreciate about you.
I tried. I really tried.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all human, but I know that the bullshit level is not so high with you compared to a lot of other people out there.
It depends on the person, on the person who already has a judgment of me. That's the one thing you'll never really defeat, right?
Right. Well, I mean, if someone doesn't like you, it's like, well, the best you can do is just be who you are. If they're not going to like you, tough titties on them. I remember hearing the one story about Bill Clinton, and they said that Bill Clinton is the type of guy that if you went to a party and someone said, "Hey, Bill, that guy over there, he doesn't like you." Bill Clinton would go over there and spend the whole evening over there trying to win the person over. Well, I don't have the time to do that. I really don't. It's like me for who I am. I don't want to schmooze someone to be a new friend. Friend, you know.
Yeah, that's it. It's like that. You're describing pretty much pawn jumping. Hey, what can I get from you for how long until I can move on to the next popular thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it falls under the guidelines of name throwing. Well, I know this person, and he said this, and we met him doing this, or her doing this, and I'm sitting there going, "You went to a convention. You're not getting married. Shut the fuck up."
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
that's another thing. And it's just like, ugh, it gets tedious. And I know there's always good stuff like that, but I'm like, just because you know someone who got an Oscar doesn't mean you're best friends. It doesn't always fall down that line.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just the name throwing is great, but you're not them, and they can't save you. It's
Mm-hmm.
just do
I,
you.
I mean, I remember that back we were talking about. Uh, Oh, I got a mail block on his name now again. Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall. When he first
Yeah,
started doing his show, all he could do was, like when he first started out there, all he would do was say, Eddie Murphy this, Eddie Murphy that. I'm friends with Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy had to sit back and go, please quit doing that? You know, be yourself. I quit using me. Quit saying Eddie Murphy this or Eddie Murphy that. It should be Arsenio this, Arsenio that.
that is true.
Hmm. Exactly. I mean, it's great having those friends around and hanging around and being part of that. But when
Yeah,
it comes right down to it, it's you.
yeah.
That
You
that
make everything.
piece, yeah, that piece helps make the rest of it better. And sometimes, for some people, it's good to get rid of that piece.
Yeah, could happen eventually, but like, yeah, I won't get rid of someone if I don't have to. But
Hmm.
I like conversations. I should have been drinking during this show. Probably would have gone better. Uh,
I'm surprised you weren't. 2 drink minimum, man.
um, no, the way things working, like I said, with disability and the
Yeah.
convoy, how that stream was very big payout. It messed up my disability too. I couldn't even be able to pay rent if I didn't save any money for next month.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh shoot.
Understandable. Understandable. Well, we've been at this for about an hour and 40 minutes. Is there anything that you want to promote or talk about? Uh,
No, I'm currently getting a. I think tomorrow morning I'll have Abbott and Costello, Jack and the Beanstalk air on the channel since it's public domain.
mhm.
We'll see how it goes. But no, I just like talking. I'm no better than anyone else. I won't. I'm not. I won't ever stand by that.
Mhm.
I'm just a dude in Canada who has been through some shit, like everyone goes through shit. That just had a
Mhm.
conversation.
Mhm.
But
And
always
and
watching.
judging from the chat, people really appreciate what you all said. So there are a lot of people that you didn't know about or knew about. They know you, and uh, so it's great having you on there. No, you were not a downer at all. You didn't bring the show down at all. Just like Wendy Webb said that it's an important conversation. Many people are are afraid to talk about, and you brought it up there. I mean, that's a sign of for many people bravery on that aspect, but not giving a shit, you might say, and saying this is how it is, and that's the important thing. But
True.
of course, I know we were talking about hopefully doing something. You, me, and 24. So we have to get together and talk about that.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, I would love to because I would like to get started sometime soon so I can put actual
Yeah,
content back on.
yeah. So you got me on board. You know I'm your bitch. So
No, no one's my bitch,
I
honestly.
know I'm
No.
teasing. I'm teasing. It's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, I
I
mean,
know.
definitely open for that. Of course, I know we do the pulp culture minefield Saturday mornings. So uh, always look forward to seeing you there. And I can't forget. I'd be remiss if I didn't do this one here. The Primetime Kings. Of course, you and me, Vigilante, and 24/7 Fusion Media every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, or actually 5:15 is probably more apt to be correct. or whenever it is that we finally go in. And speaking of which, there's the man of the hour, the Tower of Power himself, 24/7 Fusion Media. We're just
Oh,
plugging you, man.
you just made it in here. Yeah, you missed the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
And,
opened your heart. It sounds like we all needed to talk about it. That's the problem. Everyone wants to talk about what's woke. They don't want to talk about people.
mhm.
There's you can have both. And I don't think we're
Right.
doing enough of it.
hmm I agree. I definitely agree. And maybe we can have another chat like this again in the future. And like I said, it's not a downer at all. I think it resonated with a lot of people, and if stuff like this helps and becomes those steps, like I said before, it might not be off of this one, but somebody out there goes out, brings it out, and it starts that progression. And I made it known if I don't get any credit for it, that's fine. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to have fun talking with people and just having a grand old time. Oh, he was lurking. Did we say anything bad about 24/7? I can't remember.
No,
I
if you
suppose
got another hour, I can start.
Oh yeah, well, I mean we can. Should we go for a whole hour of?
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
I don't like crap talking.
No, I don't grab that.
But I can criticize the hell out of people's actions.
hmm Exactly, and and if criticism under the right aspects, it's like the true proper one where you're wanting to help improve, not tear down, and hopefully the person understands that's what you're wanting to do. It's like I want to help you. I was asked that the other day, and I gave my honest opinion, and of course, and I was mean, cruel, and horrible about it. But yeah, I gave my opinion. No, that wasn't that way, but and that's what's important. So, everybody, I want to thank again Fat Steven Seagal for joining me tonight on this one.
For having me.
Please. Oh, and you're always invited on, so I expect another invite sometime in the future. We can go all over the place as always. That's what I love. I love the rabbit holes, you might say, and and it's just like Glenn here says, if mental illness gets involved, this could help someone. You know,
It better. I hope it
I
does. I
hope
would
so.
love to help.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I don't care if I mean, I'd like to know about it, but I mean, if I never find out about it, but if because of this, fine. I mean, I'm not going to want to take any credit for anything. So, everybody, I thank you so much for joining us tonight for the show. And of course, catch Fat Steven Seagal and his many appearances here and there, and of course, his shows that he's coming up here with Abbott and Costello. Please take a peek at that. Enjoy some good old classic vintage entertainment. So, for Fat Steven Seagal and myself, I wish you all a great night, and thank you for joining us tonight.